Thank you for having me. My name is Dean Kleinschmidt, and it's spelled D-E-A-N-K-L-E-I-N-S-C-H-M-I-T. And I'm from Crofton, Nebraska. I'm a small businessman. I farm and I do ag diesel repair. And our family operates the business, my wife and our 5 kids. I like the previous man before. I've been always very proud of how our state has operated and come up with, a lot of people have been talking about term limits in this country for the last 30 years. And our state, I'm very proud, has been able to implement this and make it work. That is one, because I have heard of a lot of states that have had Supreme Court rulings and they have thrown that stuff out, but we've made it work, and I'm glad that we have to show the country as a good example. I also, as a businessman also, I have to, I have to do fiscal responsibility, or my balance sheet has to work, or every year I won't get my operating loan. And our country needs to be based off of capitalism as well as good governance. And paying your bills is #1 thing on both. What I've seen in the last year with the Constitution and how it seems the federal government has kind of done a lot of things that were not very right with our Constitution. And I feel that these specific measures in the long run would help direct us back on the right path. I know we can get into all the infringements that they have done wrong and what they would like to do to us, but if we simply would just get rid of career politicians and get this thing on track with our fiscal responsibility, a lot of the problems that are dogging our economy, like healthcare, which is what has been, before Obamacare, I was very successful as an independent, single entrepreneur. It has caused most people to either get 5 more employees or go to a larger, and it's taken away mom and pop businesses. You drive around lots of rural areas and there are a lot of shops that are closed because their cash flow does not fit the tax brackets. I don't know. I can go into some of the things in the last year that I've noticed that I felt with our government, and I know this has nothing to do with what's being proposed here, but the fact that 2 states we have certain laws governing our election, and I know there's 7 states that voted after the day, which was to me absurd. But there were 2 states that their state legislatures said what they wanted done, and their attorney generals of their states didn't do it. And that was left to go. We need to do this in order to rein in politicians as a whole across the United States to realize they need to be responsible for what they're doing.
Okay, thank you for your testimony and your perfect timing. All right, questions? Senator Lowe.
Thank you, Chairman Brewer, and thank you for coming today, Dean. You had a list on that notepad I saw. Would you like to quickly read off all the things that concern you on that list? It doesn't have to be quickly, but...
Right, and I wrote these down because this is what has inspired me to come here. And I know it does not relate to this, but I do feel that the first one that I noticed was, like I said, I brought up one of them to you about how our election was conducted. And things like that shake our faith. And we as a people have to keep our faith in our Constitution, our God, our country, our families. We need to keep that faith. And when there's an obvious mistrust like that, it causes our faith to be shaken. The second thing that I was very unhappy about how things were conducted was the impeachment of our president. He's a private citizen now. This is a pointless thing. It's not even constitutional. They're wasting our tax dollars. It's an abuse of power by Congress. And the first one I would call an abuse of power by states. Those states should have been not allowed to participate in the electorate if they broke our Constitution. Those 2 states. I'm saying the other ones maybe didn't, but the 2 of them should not have been allowed to be counted. And then the third thing is our president proposing that the District of Columbia has allowed senators to represent. That's an abuse of power by our president. I mean, I know maybe that, I don't know when that's gonna come into fruition or if it will. It's just an executive order. But there's 3 different levels of different branches of government: state government, the Congress, and the presidency, that are, you know, proposing things that they're not even going by the right way around, like we are proposing today. It's the right way around. We're just having limited, you know, I feel very safe with what we're doing, and we need to just proceed with a safe plan. This over the last 40 years is proven something that we've all talked about, and we just can't seem to get it done on account of career politicians.
I'm here live in Philadelphia at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. When you hear the phrase lives, fortunes, and sacred honor, these are the folks we should think of, those who anonymously gave their lives. Well, today you have a chance to volunteer. You need to volunteer for conventionofstates.com, the movement that's going to save the country. These folks are willing to step up and give everything. We need you to give just a little bit. Go to conventionofstates.com and volunteer today.